Okay, today we are going to look at making half. So today our lesson is all about 1/2. So when we are making a half, we know that that means we're talking about one piece and there will be two total pieces. So just like this circle here, if we were talking about 1/2, we would color in 1/2 of the circle. So I want to look at the next circle we have. It's divided in 4 pieces. What would be half of this circle? So if we look at it, if we look how this was cut, let's look at this same line. If we colored in this one and this one is 2/4. But isn't that the same as 1/2? Yeah, it is. You're going to notice a pattern here in just a minute. Let's look at one more. So again, we're looking at our big line down the center. All right, and we have 3 pieces over here that we're going to color in. So there's 3 pieces out of 6 total pieces. So again, if you can see, it's still just 1/2 of the circle. So what I'm showing you is that 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. And 3/6 is the same thing as 1/2. Each one of those is 1/2. Do you see the pattern? Do you see how we're looking for that one big line that divides the shape in half? And then we're coloring that half. No matter how many times it's divided, we still color in just that half. Let's look at the squares. We're going to color in 1/2. Okay, that was easy. Color in 1 piece out of 2. Now we have 4ths. Look what we did over here. We colored in 2/4 to equal 1/2. So we're going to do the same thing. Color in 2/4 to equal that 1/2. Because as you remember, we have that one line right down the center of our square. Next we have our rectangles. Again, we're going to color in 1/2. So this is 1/2. We want to color in 1/2 of this rectangle. So let's look. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 pieces. So what's half of 8? 4. So we're going to color in these 4 pieces. Now, you could have done the same thing if you would have just colored the top 4. Because again, it's still just 1/2. So what we're looking at is each time we have this other fraction, we're looking at, is this number, is this numerator, is that half of the denominator? And if it is, then we're talking about 1/2. Over here we have 4 pieces. What's half of 4? 2. So we're going to color in 2 pieces of our rectangle, and then you can see each one of those is 1/2. All right, so what I would like you to do is I would like you to look at these 5 rectangles, and I want you to color in half, 1/2, and I want you to write the fractions underneath what you've colored in, okay? So that we know that that is the same thing as half. I would like you to pause this video so that you can have a chance to do that. So draw these on a piece of paper, grab a pencil or a crayon, and color in 1/2 or half of this rectangle. All right, you should be back. So we colored in 1/2 up here. I asked you to write the fraction, so we colored in 1/2. We're going to color in 1/2 of this rectangle. So there's 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of 4 is 2. So I would color in 2 pieces to make 1/2 of the rectangle. Again, up here, same thing. I'm going to color 1/2 this way. We're going to do it vertically this time. Same thing here. How many pieces? 4. What's half of 4? 2. So you can color in 2 pieces. Most of the time I color in either up and down, or it doesn't matter. You can color it this way, or you could have colored it this way. Either way, as long as we color in 2 of the 4 pieces. Ooh, look at this one. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 pieces there. What's half of 8? 4. So 4/8 is half of our rectangle. So again, we're talking about halves, looking at 1/2 of an object. So you count the total number of pieces, and then you can ask, what's half of that number? So we'd have 2 pieces. What's half of 2? 1. We have 4 pieces. What's half of 4? 2. So that's the pattern that we're looking at when we talk about 1/2. So I wanted you to kind of get an idea of how we can kind of compare fractions. So if we had 4/8 and 5/8, we know that 5/8 would be bigger because 4 is half, and that would be a little bit more than half. So I know that you're thinking, this is gross, but hang in there, all right? So this is a whole idea that we're going to be talking about when we come back and from our spring break, okay, is comparing fractions, and then we're going to be even looking at doing some other things with fractions that are really fun. So anyway, wanted to talk to you about today about how we look at 1/2 of an object and give you just a tiny little preview of other things to come.